coating.
Okay, today for Big Span, what we're going to do is take a short tour of the plant. We're going to show how the product runs, somewhat of a unique product in that it's tubular structure. It's what we call a progressive dip structure, in that it's actually taller than what the Kettle is deep, and therefore cannot be coated all at one time. It has to go through the plant, through the process actually 2 times. And so we'll be walking through that process and seeing how that's accomplished.
The first process, the trusses are dipped in a solution to remove soft oils, then a rinse tank. And the next step is a hydrochloric acid tank, which pickles the steel and gets rid of all the scale, rust, and other contaminants on the steel. This is followed by another rinse, and then a pre-flux tank, which is shown here. Now that the bare steel is totally prepped, it's ready to be transferred to the galvanizing tank. This tank contains molten zinc plus additives, heated to 840 degrees Fahrenheit. After the galvanizing, the tank doors are opened and the trusses are swept and slowly raised.
What they're doing now is what we call sweeping the kettle, because when the steel's in there and the product's in there, it puts off these iron oxides, which makes the skimmings on top of the kettle. So to keep that from getting onto or sticking to the product when the product's extracted out of the kettle, we sweep it, we skim it back. And then as the product is slowly extracted, they keep skimming that product, because all the time it's in there, it's creating the iron oxides. All metals corrode, but zinc is at a much slower rate, and also zinc is sacrificial. It has what they call cathodic properties, and what that means is if you have a bare spot, the zinc will sacrifice itself from around that bare spot to protect that bare spot, which is really what sets the zinc hot dip galvanizing process and coating apart from other coating processes. If you scratch paint, moisture gets in behind the paint and begins to bubble up, and the paint will start coming off and continue to rust behind the paint. Zinc is a metallurgical bond to the steel. That's why the kettle is at 845 degrees. The product has to sit in the kettle long enough to get up to that kettle temperature. When that happens, then you have the metallurgical bond between the zinc and the base steel. And because of that, you could scratch the zinc, and if you happen to go all the way through the zinc into the bare metal out in the field, it's not going to rust. This will be the first of the 2 dips. It comes out slow so that the zinc can drain out and also drain off. And that's the reason why everything's extracted at a very slow rate.
Once the trusses are raised out of the 840 degree zinc coating tank, they're then wheeled out front for a cooling down to 790 degrees. That's the temperature that zinc solidifies.
Zinc solidifies at 790. So it's already cool enough that the zinc is solidified, and you can lay it right down on the concrete and it doesn't affect the coating.
Since the huge trusses are too big for the tank, they're then flipped over and wheeled back through the plant for a second dip.
What it will do is go back all the way back through the system into the processing tanks, because you see how the bottom has already begun to rust, so it'll go back into the acid, begin to pickle that side of the steel again. It won't take very long because it's already been pickled once. That's just a flash rust on it. So that'll pickle off, it'll rinse, back to the pre-flux, and then back to the kettle. Okay, we finished the second dip, and so we completed the galvanizing dipping process. As you see the smoke coming off of it and steam, it's very hot. So what they'll do is they'll come out, they'll lay it down on the apron, they'll let it cool, and then they'll come in and pick it up and take it into what we call the dressing area or the finishing area, where they'll file any drips or dags or anything that are on it. The overlap line, they'll dress that up, and then it'll go in the storage yard awaiting the truck that will come in. Then we'll load the truck out, and it'll be on its way to Puerto Rico.